In the heart of the African savanna, nestled between the rolling hills and the whispering acacia trees, lay the village of Zimoni. It was a place where the sun kissed the earth with warmth and the winds carried stories of old. Yet, in this seemingly idyllic setting, there was a child who knew no happiness. His name was Kibwe, a boy of 7 with eyes as deep and dark as the night sky. Kibwe was born with a severe skin condition that left his body covered in painful sores and scars. His condition made him an object of fear and misunderstanding in Zimoni. His parents, proud and superstitious, believed his affliction was a curse from the spirits. They named him Kibwe, which means blessed, but they treated him as though he were a burden. Each day, Kibwe wandered the corners of the village, his heart heavy with sadness. He watched the other children from afar, their laughter like knives to his soul. He longed for the warmth of a loving touch, the comfort of kind words, but all he received were cold stares and harsh whispers. The villagers, following the lead of his parents, kept their distance, fearing the curse might touch them too. Kibwe's days were filled with isolation. He spent most of his time by the riverbank, watching the water flow and dreaming of a different life. He often spoke to the river, pouring out his heart to the silent, flowing water. "Why am I like this?" he would ask, his voice trembling with sorrow. "What did I do to deserve such pain?" One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Kibwe sat by the edge of the forest. Tears traced paths down his dusty cheeks. He was so lost in his sorrow that he did not notice the rustling in the underbrush nor the tiny figures emerging from the shadows. They were the dwarf spirits of the forest, ancient beings with skin like tree bark and eyes that sparkled like dew. They had watched Kibwe for many moons and had decided to intervene. With a gentle whisper carried by the wind, they beckoned him. "Kibwe," they called softly, "do not be afraid. We are here to help." Kibwe looked up, startled. The sight of the dwarf spirits filled him with a strange mix of fear and hope. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice trembling. "We are the guardians of this forest," one of them replied, stepping closer. "We have seen your pain, and we wish to take you to a place where you will be loved and taught the ways of magic." Without a second thought, Kibwe reached out his hand, and the spirits led him into the depths of the forest. The village of Zimoni became a distant memory as he entered the realm of the dwarf spirits, a place where time flowed differently and magic was as real as the air he breathed. The forest was unlike anything Kibwe had ever seen. Trees with luminous leaves towered above him, and the ground beneath his feet seemed to pulse with life. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the soft hum of nature's song. It was a place of wonder and enchantment, and for the first time in his life, Kibwe felt a sense of belonging. The dwarf spirits, who introduced themselves as the Nyominyomi, led Kibwe to their village hidden deep within the forest. There, they welcomed him with open arms and warm smiles. They provided him with ointments made from magical herbs that soothed his painful sores and began the process of healing his skin. Under the care of the Nyominyomi, Kibwe thrived. They taught him to harness the magic of the forest, to heal, and to speak with the animals. His once fragile body became sturdy and full of life. His skin, once covered in painful sores, became smooth and healthy. The Nyominyomi showed him that his condition was not a curse, but a gift that connected him deeply to the natural world. Kibwe's days were now filled with learning and joy. He discovered that he had a natural talent for healing. With just a touch, he could mend broken bones and cure illnesses. He learned to communicate with the animals of the forest, who became his friends and protectors. The Nyominyomi also taught him to respect and honor the spirits of nature, instilling in him a deep sense of responsibility for the world around him. Years passed in the blink of an eye. Kibwe grew into a strong young man with a kind heart and a powerful gift. One day, the spirits gathered around him. Kibwe, they said, it is time for you to return to your village. The chief of Zamani is gravely ill, and only you have the power to heal him. This is your destiny. With a heart full of purpose, Kibwe made his way back to Zamani. The villagers scarcely recognized the tall, strong young man who walked with confidence and grace. Whispers spread like wildfire as he approached the chief's hut. Inside, the air was thick with despair. The chief lay on a bed of straw, his breath labored and his skin ashen. Kibwe knelt beside him and closed his eyes, calling upon the magic that flowed through his veins. A soft glow enveloped his hands as he placed them on the chief's chest, and a warmth spread through the room. Moments later, the chief's eyes fluttered open. Color returned to his cheeks, and he sat up, breathing deeply. The villagers erupted in cheers, their disbelief turning to awe. Kibwe had performed a miracle. As the celebration commenced, Kibwe's parents pushed their way through the crowd. They fell to their knees before him, tears streaming down their faces. Kibwe, his mother cried, "Forgive us. We were blind to your worth, and we cast you aside. Please, come home." Kibwe looked at them, his heart aching with a mix of emotions. But in his time with the spirits, he had learned the power of forgiveness. He reached out and lifted his parents to their feet. "I forgive you," he said softly. "Let us start anew, with love and understanding." The village of Zamani rejoiced, not just for the healing of their chief but for the return of Kibwe, the boy who had become a powerful healer. From that day forward, Kibwe was loved and respected, and the villagers learned to see beyond their fears and superstitions. Kibwe's journey had come full circle. He had left as a broken and ostracized child but returned as a strong and compassionate healer. The boy who once wandered in sadness now walked with pride and purpose, his heart as strong as his body, and his spirit forever bound to the magic of the forest. Under his guidance, the village of Zamani flourished. Kibwe's healing powers brought relief to many, and his wisdom helped the villagers live in harmony with nature. He taught them the lessons he had learned from the Nyomi, to respect the natural world and to see the value in every life, no matter how different it might seem. Kibwe's parents, once ashamed of their son, now stood by his side with pride. They had learned to see the world through his eyes, and their hearts were filled with gratitude for the forgiveness he had shown them. The bond between them grew strong, and their home was filled with love and laughter. And so, the village of Zamani entered a new era of peace and prosperity, guided by the wisdom and magic of Kibwe, the boy who had once wandered the corners of the village in sorrow but had found his true place in the heart of the forest and the hearts of his people. In the end, Kibwe's journey taught everyone that no matter how different or challenging one's path may be, love, acceptance, and a strong sense of purpose can transform lives and communities for the better. And so, the legacy of Kibwe, the boy who had once wandered in sadness but returned as a healer, lived on, inspiring generations to come.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share.